for it. So, welcome to the live stream. We are here with the live studio audience, and it's live. Wow, that thing's going out to all the destinations. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm excited to be here with another episode of Entrepreneurial Effect Interviews, the Expert Authority Effect, whatever you want to call it. Don't care. Just watch, tune in, subscribe on iTunes. All right, I'm checking. It is live on Facebook, Destination 1. It is live on Facebook, Destination 2. If you're catching this part, welcome and thank you for joining the live studio audience. I have another great interview today, and I'm excited about that. For all the other ones, you can check them out on iTunes under Expert Authority Effect Interviews. What we're going to do, and I'm getting better at saying this, is yes, we're live right now. However, when I get into the interview portion, I'm just going to interact with Lauren, excited to have her, and then we might come back for a little Q&A at the end. But if you see us talking and you're, popping in, I'm not going to be addressing comments right away. I do it at the beginning and end. So if you're catching this, thanks. And if you join in 5 minutes, you're going to not have any clue what's going on, so that's fine. You can watch the replay. Lauren, if you want to share this, you can. It's live on the page. I'm going to edit this and tag you in it, like we discussed. Where is it at, though? Leave in the comments. Edit post. Here we go. Why do I have the description in here like 13 times? Travel with interesting. Lauren. Come on, Facebook. Lauren K. You got a new photo on here, didn't you? The blue scarf, it looks like? Okay. That's different from last week. Still looks good, though. All right, now you're tagged. At least on this one. We're going to do both. This is my personal page. Don't hit that. That's the end live video button. Don't want to do that. You're still broadcasting. Stay on the page. Do I have to leave it up? Whatever. The computer can handle it. All right. Are you able to see it? Okay. Now I'm going to the other page. Edit. Double edit. Here we go. Bam. CEO of and TWIP has your. There we go. Yes. Killing it. Killing it. Look at that. Do not want to hit end live video. I see what you're doing there. Awesome. Just remember, keep the vibrations off once we start. But feel free. I mean, if you want to run that the whole time, that's cool. I mean, I have zero problem with it. Actually, you want to go nuts? Yeah, let's go nuts. I'll do... This is crazy. Oh, shoot. It's going to reveal something, though. Join us. Join us live now. Done. All right, we're doing... Oh, there's Lauren. There you are. All right, so we are. I'm live on Facebook while I'm live on Facebook while Lauren's live on Facebook, and we are going to do another Expert Authority Effect interview. If you're watching me live behind the scenes right now from my phone, hop on over to the page because Lauren's over here in the green room, and I'm going to be pulling her up on screen, and we're going to have a great interview in about a minute or two. So this is awesome. She's live on her thing, and I'm live on mine. That's hilarious. All right, I'll see you on the real one. Check the thing below. You'll figure it out. You're smart. God bless. Okay. What's going on? Yep, we're supposed to be doing something. Cool. All right, so I think that sufficiently fulfilled all the Facebook stuff that makes this go well. So, you know what? I'm going to do one more water and we're going to get right into it. What do you think, everyone? Leave your comments below. Should Mario stay hydrated? Oh, and people watching on YouTube also, thanks for tuning in. Click the subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified when we go live for the next interview, because there's a lot more good ones coming up, and there's about 70 already that you can watch and listen to, and I'm very excited about that. Thankful for all my VIP guests, and it's been a lot of fun launching the show. I got 2 more surprises already up my sleeve happening in June and July, so pay attention, subscribe, hit that, ring that bell, and get the notifications. All right, Expert Authority world, I'm excited to be here with another great interview today. I have none other than model, entrepreneur, speaker, and CEO of TWIP, Lauren Koenig, who specializes in Travenality. We're going to get into this with you in just a bit, right after we thank our sponsor. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lauren Koenig. Lauren, it's great to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Hi, Mario. How are you?
Feeling great. It's great to have you here today.
I know. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for a long time to be on this show, so I'm glad we finally got our acts together and our busy schedules, and we made it happen.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, what made you want to start TWIP? What inspired you to start your company?
Oh my goodness. You know what? Been asked this question a lot, but you know what? It has to always come down to a cereal box.
Really?
I swear to God, a cereal box. It's funny enough, my family owns a summer home up in Canada. And when I was a little girl, I would sit every morning eating breakfast and I would eat my Canadian Shreddies. And every single day on the back of the cereal box, I couldn't read it because it was in French. And so I would ask my mom, like, what does this say? I can't read it. And it was so funny because she'd always be like, you know what, Lauren, I don't know French. Just go learn French if you want to learn how to read the back of the cereal box. And so you know what? I went and learned French. I went to Ball State University. I'm very proud of it. Chirp, chirp, go Cardinals. And I minored in French. And after college, I wanted to go to France, obviously, to learn to be able to speak my newfound language. And no one wanted to travel. Everyone was having babies, or they were getting married, or, they were like, I'm broke and poor, as every college student is. And so I tapped into like-minded people, the French Club of Ball State University, and they were like, Lauren, you know what? You should not go to France. You should move there. I was like, okay, challenge accepted, hold my beer. And so they held my beer for about a year and a half. And I moved to France after college, fell in love with travel, fell in love with different cultures and this big, great, beautiful world that's out there. And I started to really understand the motives behind why people traveled, why they didn't travel, what prevented them from traveling. And that was my cue to pretty much like abandon everything I went to college for and go down the world of travel and then travel tech. And then basically, long story short, it was curiosity of the back of their cereal box that helped me, want to dive into, like I said, the travel industry and start to solve problems. that I was seeing in front of my face on a daily basis. So that's it. It was kind of like a nugget that was always inside of me, and I didn't discover it until many years later. But I think that's really the underlying cause.
That is a great story. So, what's been the most interesting thing you've experienced since you've started?
Well, that's a loaded question.
That's what you said you wanted, right?
Exactly. Don't be on the show. Mario will trick you. He'll say, "Here's the questions to prepare with," and then he'll give you curveballs. Um,
After you said you wanted some, so yeah.
What's the most unexpected thing? Most unexpected thing. I would have to say it's always harder than you realize. You know, you think that running a company is like, okay, I got this. You learn something, you take 10 steps forward, but it's really 10 steps forwards and 1,000 feet backwards. And that's really exhausting. And I think to realize how much stamina you need as an entrepreneur is just incredible. You know, I get people emailing and calling and texting me, you know, on a weekly basis. "Hi, Lauren, I'm so-and-so. I want to start my own business. What should I do?" And I was like, well,
Don't.
yeah, don't. And I always say, if you do, make sure you know and you admit that it's the hardest thing you're ever going to do in your entire life, and that you need to sacrifice literally everything that you stand for. Like, it just needs to go out the window, and that you need to start over. So I always say, if you want to start a business, it's like going to college, to university, and crossing, you know, the line to get your diploma, and then someone shaking your hand, and then someone taking your diploma away from you, and then lighting it on fire and having to go start all back over again for 4 years. And that's being an entrepreneur. The learning curve is incredible. And, you know, you think you know, but you really don't. And that's what you need to go and figure out. So I think for me, just the most surprising, unexpected thing is how incredibly difficult it is. I'm a very strong person. I was an athlete. You know, I have a resiliency inside of me, but there are days where I just, you know, I'm crying in that cereal that I was eating when I was 6 years old. And I'm like, oh, why did I do this? So it's a long journey. It's a tough journey, but it's also very rewarding at the same time in many different ways.
So let's talk about that, because I've seen some of the stuff you do. What in the heck?
We've been upgraded.
I don't want a gift from Zoom.
I
That's
do.
not making the final cut.
I do.
That has never happened. Fantastic. All right, Lauren, so let's talk about some of those rewards, because I've seen what you've done. And why don't you get into a little bit of what you do. All right, Lauren, so I've seen some of the rewards you've been able to achieve, and it's pretty impressive. If you could go into a little bit more detail as to how you help people and who you help, I think everyone would be interested to know what you actually get to do, even though it is difficult at times. Let's go into detail about what you actually are doing.
I love it. Lauren, what the heck do you do with your life? Well, Mario, let me tell you. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of TWIP, which stands for Travel with Interesting People. We are an AI engagement solution platform for travel brands. So we basically help travel brands understand their clients' travel behavior. So I don't know if you know, but everyone has a travel behavior. We're all different in different phases of this world. So we're different when we're in school, we're different when we're at work, we're different when it's at home, we're at home, but we're also different when we travel.
And you're talking about their travelnality, right?
I am. There you go. Exactly. Everyone has their own travelnality. So we help travel brands and lifestyle brands as well understand their clients' travelnality. And then with this secret, powerful information, we help brands better market to their customers, to understand their travelnality, to speak to the core of them, the needs, the wants, and the desires of a user, of a traveler, and to really, help personalize their products, services, and content. Because we all now know nowadays, personalization is just kind of a used up, dirty word that means nothing. And brands really need to start, focusing on their customer and really what they want. So, we're kind of those that in the eyes and ears and insights of travel behavior, and we're definitely one of the first to be really focusing on that in the travel industry. So that's what TWIP does.
And where are some of the cool places that people can expect to travel to?
Well, I think that depends on truly the company that uses our services. To be honest, the great thing about the Travenality is when you understand the user's travel behavior, you can apply that to your product and be able to, basically I call Spotify it or Netflix it. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to be able to have a product that, for travel and basically get recommended things based on your travel behavior or your Travenality? I mean, it kills me because, one of the biggest problems is that, I've been traveling a lot this year and, I Google a hotel for X, Y, and Z in Barcelona, and then X travel brand is emailing me hotels for Barcelona 4 months after I went to Barcelona. I'm like, listen, homie, like that ship has sailed. You lost me and you snooze, you lose. Like it bothers me that I have to explain to travel brands of who I am as a traveler nowadays. Like they should already know I travel enough, and I offer up that information willingly because I'm sick of having to type in my preferences and settings and whatnot. And so I think that the travel brands need to actually take a step up in their game and start offering better content, services, and products in personalization as a whole.
So, as for some added context, you say you travel a lot. I think a lot of people say they travel a lot, but if we can put it into some empirical numbers, what are your what would you say? How many miles a year do you travel?
I don't know mileage. I actually, I've never really cared about the mileage because for me, it's more about kind of like putting that pin in the map. I will say I've been to 17 countries within this calendar year. And within the
Okay.
last 12 months, I've been to 17 different countries.
So
So
that's a good reference because some people say I travel a lot and they're once a year, twice a year, once a quarter, and that's more than most. I know statistically, but 17 countries already.
yes, I'm kind of like, forget the domestic travel. Not that I'm belittling in any way, shape, or form, but I mean, I always believe like, hey, go the distance because you never know when politically, financially, physically, emotionally, you're not able to travel, right? So if anyone's like, oh, should I go to the West Coast or Tahiti? I'm like, Tahiti, go long, go far. So the reason why we actually why I've traveled so much this past year is that we were so lucky enough to win $15,000 of free flights from Lufthansa and Swiss Airlines. And because of our Travenality technology. So we were recognized as the winner for that competition last April in 2018. And so Lufthansa awarded this money, this money to us. And they were like, you have 1 year to spend it. And I was like, what did I say? I said, hold my beer. I was like, I'll be right back. And it was really great for me to do this with my co-founder as well. We've traveled to a couple countries, mostly because it helped me understand and reminded me of why I started the company in the first place. And if you're not using your product and you're not out there researching and looking and talking to people, you will lose the heart and soul. And, as much as travel is glamorous and people are like, why are you traveling? Do you ever work? I'm like, please, I just work in different time zones. I mean, like it's ridiculous. So, but with this past year has allowed me to dive a little bit deeper into travel behavior, doing the original research that when I started this company, understanding, travelers as a whole, what's out there, who's innovating, who's not innovating, what companies are lagging, who is, out there and really servicing their clients and their customers and making contacts all over the world. Because travel means what? To go from point A to point B. That's it. Like it doesn't say as quickly, fast.
I would want to enjoy the process.
Exactly. But my point is that travel just, when someone says I travel, I hear I breathe air.
That's
Great.
good. I do too.
Tell me more. And I want to know more information. And that's really like the mission behind TWIP is to really help, define that Travenality. And so being able to travel to these 17 countries, 18, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be able to, just tweak our product and make it better, as fast as possible.
That's really exciting because I see 5, 10 years from now how this can apply to everyone, both businesses and personal. No matter what you're doing, people love to
Yeah.
travel, and it sounds like you have a golden ticket to make it better for everyone. So the people that are, I love the name Travel with Interesting People. So dive a little bit deeper into that as far as why didn't you pick Travel with Boring People?
So I have to give my actual final, like, real shout out to my homie Bo Roberts. He is a big actor out in LA, and he's a very dear friend of mine. And it's so funny because he's such a handsome little man. I love him to death. And I shouldn't say little, like, meaning he's just this like hunk, he's that like Indiana, like just hot little like actor. He's just so great. His personality is so spunky. He's so creative, and he's a very good friend of mine. And I was really trying to think of this, a creative, awesome name that, branded well for my company. And I remember one day we were walking in the subway, and I was like, just racking my brain. I was like, I don't know what to name my company. It's not cool. I don't know what to do. And I swear to God, no shit. He just looked at me and he's like, well, why don't you just go on a TWIP and name it Travel with Interesting People? And I'm like, scusa? I was like, I'm trademarking that manana. He was like, and ever since then, I mean, he's such a creative guy, but on like just on the spot. And I was like, because everyone's interesting. Everyone has their own story. Everyone's unique. And I want to celebrate that. And that's what's important to me, So, I believe that everyone's got a story to tell. And I think by bringing people together, it just makes this world more interesting. So it's much deeper on a lot of levels, but plus it's a fun name.
It is. You're like, hold my beer. I need to cement this in it forever. So, from everyone that's traveled with you so far and your company, what's the biggest success story you could say that you've been able to help someone achieve?
Oh my goodness, that's a tough question. I think really, we started off as a community, right? So TWIP started off with a community, and it's not that dream is, has been finished. We've just kind of put that product to the side right now, knowing that as a consumer, for a consumer travel product, we need a lot more capital and a lot more runway to build this community. And I believe that the B2B travel side is the way that we're going right now, because brands really need help in this area, and it's what we excel at. So we basically took kind of that, the core tech out of our B2C platform and started licensing it to brands, because, we're small, we're agile, and, in the travel world, you have like the big guys and the little guys, and like there's nowhere in between. And so the big guys need the little guys to innovate. And that's something that we were able to provide for these larger companies. But I think that, even in just the earlier days, I don't really have a great answer to your question in terms of like something specific, but I think that, in the early days of really honing in on travel behavior and understanding that people are different away from home. So the definition of travelnality is why someone travels when you take away the elements of time, destination, and price. There's 10 different travelnalities, and a user can be a percentage of some or all of them. So with this information, you then can recommend product, services, and content. So I think like the best like success that we have done is being able to take the travelnality and turn it into a product that brands can actually digest. We've taken travel behavior, something that is in front of us every single day, and we've been able to package it and turn, with our algos and our technology, and be able to kind of package it for brands to be able to offer to consumers on a broader scale. So, we're kind of like the algo behind like, Spotify or Netflix, that recommendation engine in travel that people have been trying to crack forever. So it's not like one specific travel story. It's that you will see this in many years to come, and you will start to see people talk about their travelnality. They'll be shopping via their travelnality, and they're going to understand that it's really the only important thing when it does come to travel first. Destination, time, and price will come second, but people need to be thinking about their travelnality when they start to shop for travel.
Well, I think that's a huge success story, because being able to break it down and understand people, same thing with me. If I'm looking something up to purchase, to invest in, to travel to, I get the same emails. Hey, would you like to do such and such? I'm like, that was 3 months ago.
I know, it drives me crazy.
People don't realize that, when they're asking me for marketing and everything, they're going, what do you think about this, or this? It's like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
If you're talking to a millennial on a billboard, wrong
Yep.
market to message. If you're
Yep.
talking to, you know what I mean? Everything has to match up. It's not that the idea is bad, the execution of it is, though, in most cases I found. But with what you're doing, that's huge because now you can say, hey, here's the Travenality types,
Yep.
figure out where they go into, and now everything else can calculate from there to give them the best
100%.
experience.
You nailed it, Mario. You 100% nailed it because, everyone, you have your demographic, their psychographics of a user, but like the burning desire of why someone travels in the core of them, that's their Travenality. And if you can understand their Travenality, then you can just, then everything's just downhill from there.
And actually recommend the right hotel for that type of person versus just randomly, there's 30 within a 5-mile radius. Well, that's great, but now I need to decipher through all this crap.
It's tough. It's even tough for me too. I mean, my co-founder is just a whiz at flights, and I'm always like, yo, personal flight lady, like, please help me find this flight. And people do that to me too. I mean, I get, phone calls, texts, emails all the time. Like, hey, Lauren, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And there's so many factors that go into that. And it's really hard to keep up because I need to ask you like 10 questions. And if I understand those 10 questions, then the sky's the limit. Right. But it's just understanding like really their Travenality and when they, oh, well, that doesn't matter. I'm like, no, but it does, because anything that they're asking me, all I need is the answer to these certain questions. And then I can actually dish a world of travel for them. Because it's a very segmented, saturated, fragmented industry. And we know this, and it's only getting bigger. The travel industry is one of the, I think it's 10% of, it's just, it's such a large market, and there's so much innovation that needs to still happen in the travel space. It's the big companies are not listening enough to the consumers right now. Like I was at a conference the other day and they were like, so do you think that it was like a round table. Do you think airlines are innovators or followers? And there was a couple people from the airlines there and like, oh, we think we're innovators. And we're all like, no, no, you guys are followers. So we're all like, please, because they're too big right now, and you need to have a small team to be agile, to move quick enough. And that's why the little guys are so important to be always innovating in the travel space. I mean, we're talking from innovation down to, alerts on your cell phone if your luggage has been boarded onto the plane, gate changes to cell phone push notifications, to recommendation engines, to even, knowing your preferences when sitting on an airplane, knowing the shortest distance between, do you take planes, trains, automobiles? I mean, travel comes into rental, it comes into OTAs, it comes into destination recommendations. There's such a large world. And it's exciting to see the innovations that's happening, that's for sure. But we still have a long way to go, and we're just really excited to be a part of that recommendation, kind of self-discovery. We, even with Travenality, you can, if you're compatible with someone else's Travenality, if you're going to be a good travel partner is another, product of ours, because something, that's important nowadays is people are different away from home. So if you take two best friends and you put them together and they have different Travenalities, well, the days of our lives is about to happen. It's like drama. And no one wants that on a travel experience when it's so much time and money that you invest in. I mean, experiences are really, they're expensive, and you can do it cheaply, but there's a lot of people, that's where, especially the new generation, the younger generation, is where they're putting their money, is experiences and not houses and cars and things like that. So there's a lot of weight being put on these trips.
It sounds like you could do a spin-off show of interesting people with that like to travel. Interesting scenarios, like purposely put the wrong ones together and be like, oh, we're going to see what happens over here. It'd be like,
Mario, we might be working on something. Shh. You never know what we're up to.
But using your powers for good, it will help people.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right, because I like to travel when I speak, and, fly in a couple days early, a couple days after, and, enjoy it. But sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't, other speakers and authors are, well, you wouldn't believe what I had to do to get here. I'm like, oh, someone didn't plan.
It's tough. And that's a Travenality type. Someone who plans, someone who wings it. Does someone travel with, their pets? Does someone work out on vacation? Is someone competitive? Do they travel for events? Do they travel for leisure or health or wellness or adrenaline? I mean, there's many different things that goes into that. And one of the Travenalities is an urbanite, someone who travels for, urban dwelling, what they want, when they want, how they want. And there's another travenality called altruist, someone who travels to help others. So I'm very altruistic and very urbanite when I travel. It's funny because I'm a maverick in my personal life. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, could you be more of a risk taker? But when I travel, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to jump out of that plane. I don't need to eat that snake. Like, I don't need to go zip lining. Like, I'm just not that girl on that trip. I mean, like, I think I just grew up with a brother who went to the ER too many times from jumping off of like swing sets and shit like that. So I'm very like, I'm not a maverick and I'm not an Epicurean. Like, I could care less where we eat at all. Like, it's not. And then there's people that are like, oh my gosh, they have new creme brulee at this tiny little Parisian cafe. And I'm like, could care less.
As long as they have food.
Right. So there's just all these things that go into it. And if you give people the opportunity to travel with someone with similar travenalities, the chances are much higher for a more enjoyable experience.
Well, I appreciate you for sharing that. And I'm curious what all the travenality types are. Where would someone find that information out?
Absolutely. So if you're a brand that wants to work with us, you can just go to www.twip.co. We're Twip Trips on all social media, so it's really easy to find us and you can reach out to us directly. But stay tuned. We still have tons of stuff coming out for consumers in terms of being able to take that travenality assessment. And we're actually talking to a good handful of brands right now that are going to start offering our technology. So if you start getting recommendation engines in your email, and if travel brands are starting to know you a little bit better, it might be because of our tech.
It sounds like you got a lot of good information you could put into a book also. Those personality type, the travenality types, I really am curious what they are, so I'm going to check that out.
There's 10 of them. I'll tell you right now: altruist, culturist, Epicurean, Imaginavo, Solitaire, Purist, Maverick, Victor, Wayfarer, Urbanite.
Okay. I think we're very similar, because for business, it's like, we're going to make the moon happen. And then when you're traveling, it's where's the pool? Where's the hot tub? Where are some tacos? Hey, you want to drive 35 more minutes away from where we're at? Not really, just flew to get here. We're good.
I feel ya.
All right. So tell me about your speaking. How has that helped your business?
It's definitely helped. I'm not going to lie. I went to school to be an investigative reporter. So I went to Ball State University. I was a TCOM, telecommunications major, news option. So I was always digging for stories. I was, always in front of the camera. And that definitely, I think, helped in my life of public speaking. It didn't necessarily make it easier. It just gave me a little more reference to what it's like when it comes to lights, camera, action. But, we're going to be really pushing me as a speaker in terms of travenality and travel behavior. I get asked a lot to be on podcasts or mentor, certain retreats. I'm actually going up to BC, Canada in a couple weeks for a conference, a lot of roundtables, anything where opinions are needed. I'm, happy to show up. But the speaking is definitely picking up, which is great. I love being on stage. Like I said, it's not easy. I presented at Focusrite, which was the largest travel conference in the world, about a year and a half ago. I've done multiple competitions, things like that. So, getting my feet wet and definitely picking up the pace in terms of the speaking. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it comes and goes, but it's happening more and more as TWIP gets older and we're finding our niche in the market.
Very good. Well, I have one more question for you before we go to the imperfect action round. And it's interesting because I call this the expert authority roller coaster, because that's like we were talking about with entrepreneurial doing stuff. There's variables. How do you adjust for them? So I've been asking stuff such as, if you were president, what would you do? And, if you could talk to anyone else in the world, who would it be? Stuff like that. And maybe some softball stuff like who's your favorite celebrity. But this actually fits really perfect with you. Because
I had answers to all those questions, by the way. I was like, darn it. I knew those answers.
One of them I always not always ask. I mean, it depends on the person, but it's in the what is it, Rolodex, it's in the arsenal, it's in the whatever, arrow in the
Uh-huh.
quiver deal.
Yeah.
It's one I ask people. Where's one place in the world you would love to travel to that you haven't yet?
Thailand, Sweden, and Tokyo. Not one, three.
Why?
Oh, wow. Thailand because of the beach with Leonardo
The
DiCaprio.
nice ties.
Right. Um, Tokyo because I'm obsessed with the Japanese culture and sushi. And Sweden because I love Vikings.
Okay.
It's really as simple as it comes down to. I mean,
Honest answer, 60 seconds or less. You're ready for the imperfect action round.
oh
And
goodness.
I'm just going to throw
Okay.
this out there. Yeah, the beach looked beautiful, but you don't want to go there because of it. You want to go there for the beauty and stuff, right?
Of course. Of course. Of
Okay,
course.
I was going to say you saw the whole movie, right? Not just the first part of it.
Oh,
Like,
I would
no, you
prefer
ever
not
see
to
that
get.
movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Beach? I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to travel there after that one, but it
I
looked
don't want to be
nice.
eaten by a shark and kicked off a beautiful island. No, I want nothing to do with that. I would love to go for the beauty of it and the full moon festival. I mean, and I love Thai food, even though I'm not an Epicurean, which is funny. I actually need to reevaluate where I want to go because I've been to so many places and I feel like I need to readjust my list, which I never thought I would get to, but that's exciting for me.
That's a
So
good problem.
yeah, I think so.
All right, so we're going to thank our sponsor and come back for the imperfect action round. All right, Lauren, we are back with the imperfect action round. Lauren, are you ready to take imperfect action?
Yes. Let's do it.
First question. What is the fastest path to the cash in your experience?
Oh my goodness. Besides robbing a bank, no, I'm totally kidding. Listen to your customer, listen to exactly what they want. Understand what their KPIs are. I think that's really important. Even though you have this amazing product and you think you know their needs, wants, and desires, you need to ask them. Like everyone has their own plan in their own business and their own KPIs that they need to hit. So understanding a company's their roadmap and getting to know them and their problems and solving for them is definitely where you should put your focus, especially in B2B.
Excellent. What is the biggest problem you see your prospects making and how can they fix it?
They're not being agile enough. I know that comes down to budget, to personnel, to money, to timing. But companies need to have leaner, smaller teams so they can move quicker. Moving quicker sometimes leads to moving faster and being first to market, and again listening to their customer. So I believe that right now, especially in the travel space, personalization is huge, but really cracking that code and what that means is something that they've been promising for a long time. And now that the materials are out there and the products and services are out there to actually get under it and deliver.
Very good. Thirdly, whatever the question is. All right, the third one. What is the best way to maximize customer lifetime value?
Best way to maximize customer lifetime value. Make sure there's always another product to be able to upsell them. If they get bored, make sure they come back for something more. Having one product is great, but always making sure that you can upsell them later or give them an additional offering is something that's really important because they're going to want to be there for your brand, for your service. They're going to stay for one reason, but they're going to come back for something new and exciting because they don't want to miss out. And they already know that they've taken the time to get to know the team. They know what to expect of the personnel because, it's a lot harder to go somewhere in a different direction or go go work with another team or get to know someone all over again. That's why losing personnel on a team is so hard. You have to go replace someone. And it's the same thing in business. So always having a product available, in your back pocket to kind of offer them at a later time upsell is a great idea.
Love that answer. Always stay innovative.
Yep.
What is a book you would recommend that's made the biggest difference for your business?
Oh, I have so many. I don't know which one. I would probably say, can I do two? I'm doing two. I don't care.
Yes, you can.
One is Presence by Amy Cuddy. It's amazing. It's fake it till you become it, not fake it till you make it. She really focuses on body language, and she was the one that coined the Superwoman pose. Really being able to, using body language as a power. I loved that book. It was so helpful to me as an entrepreneur, as well as to anyone that is on my team. And then Tim Ferriss, Tools for Titans. That's an awesome book. That's just a big old encyclopedia of like everyone's tricks and tips. And that's a great read when you don't feel like finishing something from beginning to end, and you can just open up the book and I'm going to read this today. So those are two books that I love.
Great recommendations. Great recommendations. So where can people learn more?
Like I said before, go to twip.co or follow us on social media at Twip Trips. We're really stockable online. So I've always been a very stockable person. It's terrible. It's just everything's out there, easy to contact us. You can contact me directly at Lauren@twip.co for any questions or any businesses that want to work with us. I look forward to hearing from anyone.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Lauren. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you totally rocked it.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Well, Expert Authority World, we got another great interview. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, and God bless. I'll see you tomorrow.